In 2019, Boeing lost $40 billion in market value in just 2 weeks after the second fatal crash of its 737 MAX aircraft, according to market analysis reports. Yet by 2025, the same company secured a historic $96 billion deal with Qatar Airways, the largest wide-body order in its century-long history.
It's the largest order of jets in the history of Boeing. That's pretty good. Congratulations to Boeing. Get those planes out there.
How is this possible? What happens when your greatest asset, trust, becomes your greatest liability? Conventional wisdom suggests that companies responsible for high-profile safety failures resulting in multiple deaths face an insurmountable path to recovery. Yet Boeing's journey challenges this assumption. For business leaders, Boeing's story poses a critical question. How can a company transform an existential crisis into an opportunity for fundamental renewal? When trust is shattered and your brand becomes synonymous with failure, what strategic decisions separate survival from collapse? Welcome to Simple Storytellers, where we make complex business crystal clear. Today, you'll discover exactly how Boeing navigated from catastrophic failure to remarkable comeback, and the key lessons you can apply to build resilience in your own organization. First, company background. Founded in 1916, Boeing had evolved from a small Pacific Northwest startup to become the world's largest aerospace manufacturer and America's largest exporter by dollar value. However, by the 2010s, the company's culture had shifted dramatically. Boeing's leadership had embraced what internal documents called a growth at all costs mentality. Financial performance and stock price took precedence over the engineering excellence that had defined the company for decades. This shift coincided with Boeing's headquarters relocation from Seattle to Chicago, creating a worrying disconnect between management and the company's engineering teams. When developing the 737 MAX to compete with Airbus's fuel-efficient A320neo, Boeing made a fateful decision. Rather than designing an entirely new aircraft, which would require costly pilot retraining, they modified the existing 737 design with larger, repositioned engines. This created inherent aerodynamic instability that was fixed through software rather than structural redesign, a decision that would have devastating consequences. The business challenge. On October 29, 2018, Lion Air Flight 610 crashed minutes after takeoff, killing all 189 people aboard.
Safety is at the core of who we are at Boeing.
Less than 5 months later, on March 10, 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashed in similar circumstances, claiming 157 more lives. The culprit? Boeing's Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, MCAS, which relied on input from a single angle of attack sensor, creating a catastrophic single point of failure. Worse, Boeing had kept this system largely secret from pilots and regulators alike. Within days, regulators worldwide grounded the entire 737 MAX fleet, an unprecedented 20-month suspension affecting 387 aircraft. Boeing's stock plummeted approximately 18% within 2 weeks of the second crash. Credit rating agencies downgraded Boeing's debt, and airlines worldwide began canceling or reconsidering their MAX orders. The financial fallout was staggering: $21 billion in direct costs through 2021, according to Boeing's financial disclosures. This included $8.6 billion in airline compensation, $5 billion in abnormal production expenses, and over $6 billion in program cost escalations. Boeing slashed production rates before halting MAX production entirely in January 2020, sending shockwaves through a supply chain of 12,000 companies. As if this weren't enough, the COVID-19 pandemic struck in 2020, devastating the entire aviation industry. Boeing's shares plunged 71% from pre-crisis peaks to $129. With orders drying up across all models, Boeing's very survival seemed in question. So how did Boeing pull off one of the most remarkable corporate recoveries in modern business history? The answer lies in 4 critical decisions that transformed crisis into opportunity. Decisions any leader can apply when facing their own moment of truth. 3. Strategic decisions. Facing this perfect storm, Boeing implemented a four-step recovery model that would ultimately transform the company. First, they replaced leadership. CEO Dennis Muilenburg was dismissed in December 2019, with David Calhoun appointed as the new chief executive. Calhoun prioritized transparency and accountability, launching an apology tour to key stakeholders, including regulators, airlines, and even the White House. Second, Boeing restructured its operations. The company shifted focus back to safety and quality, increasing the number of quality inspectors and investing in quality assurance. They streamlined operations and directly addressed the cultural dysfunctions that had contributed to the crisis. The pivotal moment came when Boeing redeveloped its strategy around 8 key priorities, with safety explicitly placed as the top concern. Engineers worked tirelessly on technical fixes for the 737 MAX, implementing software updates, additional sensors, and enhanced pilot training protocols to restore safety and gain regulatory approval. Fourth, and most challenging, Boeing began rebranding itself by emphasizing a renewed commitment to transparency, rebuilding trust with regulators and customers, and demonstrating a return to its engineering-first heritage. Financially, Boeing executed a critical $24 billion capital raise to build a foundation for recovery. Unlike previous eras of aggressive growth and share buybacks, the new strategy prioritized deleveraging and balance sheet strengthening before considering dividend reinstatements. The company also doubled down on sustainability, committing to make all new commercial aircraft capable of flying on 100% sustainable aviation fuel by 2030. This forward-looking strategy helped shift narrative focus from past failures to future innovations. Boeing invested heavily in restoring relationships with key customers, including Qatar Airways, a strategic Middle Eastern carrier with ambitious growth plans. Boeing's engineers worked closely with Qatar to demonstrate how the 777X's folding wingtip technology, advanced GE9X engines, and superior passenger capacity made it the ideal flagship for Qatar's global expansion. 4. Results and analysis. In 2025, these efforts culminated in Boeing's watershed moment. Qatar Airways signed a historic $96 billion agreement for up to 210 Boeing wide-body jets, including 130 Dreamliners and 3777X aircraft.
That's the largest order of jets in the history of Boeing. That's pretty good.
This wasn't just any deal. It transformed Boeing's outlook. It signaled renewed confidence. It represented Boeing's largest ever wide-body order and sent a powerful signal to the market that a major global carrier was betting big on Boeing's future. The agreement was strategically announced during a high-profile visit by U.S. President Donald Trump to Qatar, underscoring the economic and diplomatic significance. For Qatar Airways, the order supported its ambitious plan to expand annual passenger capacity from 50 million to 80 million by 2030. For Boeing, it provided crucial backlog stability and manufacturing visibility for years to come. Financially, Boeing charted a path toward generating over $10 billion annually in free cash flow by 2028, with aircraft deliveries projected to reach 570 in 2025, approaching pre-pandemic levels. The company's balance sheet stabilized, though debt levels remained high at approximately $58 billion. Yet challenges persisted. In January 2024, an Alaska Airlines 737 MAX 9 experienced an in-flight door plug blowout, triggering a new FAA investigation and temporarily grounding 171 aircraft. This incident revealed that Boeing's quality control issues hadn't been fully resolved, with investigations uncovering missing bolts and improper installation. In the competitive landscape, Boeing continued to face an uphill battle against Airbus, which had captured 65% of the narrow-body market during the MAX crisis. Production rates remained below pre-crisis targets, with MAX output at 25 monthly units versus pre-crisis goals of 57. 5. Actionable takeaways. Boeing's journey from crisis to comeback offers valuable lessons for any business leader. First, crisis preparation must be systemic, not symbolic. Boeing's initial response of leadership changes alone proved insufficient. Recovery required addressing the root causes, engineering processes, quality assurance, and cultural priorities. Second, culture transformation must precede operational transformation. Boeing had to return to its engineering-first heritage before it could truly fix its production problems. As the saying goes, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Third, supply chain resilience demands diversification. Boeing's reliance on single-source suppliers for critical components created dangerous vulnerabilities. Building redundancy and flexibility proved essential to recovery. Fourth, rebuilding trust requires sustained action, not just communication. Rebuilding trust is like repairing a bridge. It takes far longer than building it initially. Boeing's revival came through years of consistent safety improvements, transparent regulatory engagement, and relationship rebuilding, not quick PR fixes. Fifth, financial strategy should balance short-term stability with long-term vision. The most powerful insight from Boeing's case study challenges conventional thinking. Sometimes it takes catastrophic failure to drive transformative change that wouldn't happen during periods of stability. The question for your business isn't if you'll face a crisis, it's whether you'll use it as a catalyst for necessary evolution. In business, as in aviation, the true test isn't avoiding turbulence entirely, it's how you recover from unexpected drops in altitude. If Boeing's journey taught you something valuable today, smash that like button. Which of these crisis strategies could transform your business? Drop your thoughts below, and don't miss our next corporate comeback story. Subscribe now. This is Simple Storytellers, making complex business crystal clear.